I'm going to experiment with this little Pi 4. What I want to do is boot from this USB-C connection, which is normally used by the power supply. In order to do that without disturbing that, I'm going to pick up the power from this 40-pin header. In order to do that, I'm going to use one of these things, which is a little 10-pin header, and so that I don't short any of the pins out, I'm going to remove some of the pins which aren't used, and I'm going to form some other pins together so that I get 2 pin connections for the 5 volts and 2 pin connections for the 0 volts. And if you can see this, you can see there's 2 rows of 5 pins. It's going to sit ultimately on the end of this 40-pin header, like so that you can just see it meets the end there. I'm going to pick up on pin 2 and 4 for the 5 volts. I'm going to pick up on pin 6 and 9 for the 0 volts. Let's go ahead, take this off. I'm going to remove the pins I don't need. So the first thing I do is get a pair of pliers and just pull gently. I don't want pin 1 or 3 or 5 or 7, and I don't need pins 10, and I don't need pin 8. I can get hold of it. There we go. So if you can see that, you can see there's 1 pin in the corner here, which is pin 9, and there are 3 pins in a row there, which is pins 2, 3, 4 and 6. And what I'm going to do is form these pins gently together. That's 6 and 9. You get the picture. Okay, so if I put these in my little clamp, you can see where I'm at. We'll bring that in a bit. Okay, let's put some solder on these pins. Right, iron. There we go. I made a bridge between the two. It's not very fancy, but you can see what's going on. It's not fancy, but by the time I get the solder wires on, it'll be fine. So I'm going to strip a piece of cable, put that down. You've got some cable. This is red and black, 2 wires. Just need to strip a bit of the outer casing off, like so. And I've got a black and a red. What I'm going to do is twist those wires up, solder them up, do the same the other end. There we go, just put them in there, gives me a kind of third hand. Tin the red, tin the black, and I'll do the same the other end. Okay, so there's my piece of wire, all ready to rock and roll. All we need to do is connect the red to pin 2 and pin 4, and the black to 6 and 9. So I'll just solder those on. That's 2 and 4. And there we go with 6 and 9. go. You can see that's not too bad. The soldering isn't brilliant, but it's robust. And that little thing is going to fit on my pie. Just put that aside. Here's the pie. Okay, there's the pie. Here's the end I want to connect to. So that goes on just like that. This is the Raspberry Pi now with the connection to the HDMI, a mouse and keyboard attached as well. I'm going to switch on the Pi. Now running the Pi in a screen capture mode. What we're going to do is to copy these instructions one at a time. We've got the Pi set up, as you saw, with the power going to the 40-pin header. Okay, so let's copy these across. First of all, we're going to do a sudo apt update. Copy that across. Paste that and return. And we do the full upgrade. Okay, finally that's finished. Next instruction is that we're going to check the configuration of the bootloader, the EEPROM. So let's pick that up, copy that across, pop it in here, paste and return. There we go. That's what's in the EEPROM. You see the boot order there is OXF41. That would allow it to boot from the SD card and the USB 2s and 3s. But we want to do more than that. We want to boot from the USB-C. So let's get the next instruction, which allows us to edit the update file. Here we go. Return on that. Right. We're now in the editor. You can see there's that single line I said. We just want to change default to the latest. So I'll take that out. And just to make it clear, there we go. We do Control X and we say yes and we say return, and that saves that file. So now we need to update the EEPROM. Do that with this following instruction. Okay, let's put that in there. Return. There we go. The current bootloader is from the 3rd of September. We want to get the 16th of February this year. That's 3rd of September last year. And that's the 16th of February this year. Let's do a reboot, and that will replace what's in that EEPROM. Here we go. So to reboot, we just type reboot, and away we go. Okay, so we've rebooted. Next instruction, we want to check what we've got in that EEPROM. So once again, we'll copy this instruction across. Return. There we go. A quite different looking set of instructions. And we're going to have to add something to that so that we can boot from the USB-C socket. And where we do that, you've got to edit this file, so we'll pick up this next instruction. Put that and return on that. That's another editor, and in this one, in this editor, we can add bootloader equals, now looking at the table, what we're going to do, I'm going to put 0 XF, I'm going to put 541 in because that means that we can boot from all of the sockets, including the C, the USB 2s, the USB 3s, and of course the SD card holder. So we're going to Control X, we're going to say yes, we're going to say return, and we've got to do another reboot, so I'll reboot, and of course that's rebooted, just so that we can see what's happened in see what the configuration looks like now. So we just do it, I'll type it in by hand. There we go. So we got 0xF541 is the boot order, and so that finishes the setup for the Pi. Now we can do some tests on these are the various drives that we're going to be doing. The Crucial M.2 Evo 860 from Samsung. There's a mSATA in a little converter there that goes in USB, a SanDisk Extreme, SanDisk Ultra, Magix Evo, and Kingston Canvas Go Plus. I'm going to test all those. I'm going to do it in USB-C and the USB 3 and see how we get on. All the results I'll show next. So these are the results of the measurements that we took. There's the a PDF of the results on the left, and shown in bar charts on the right. The top bar chart is scaled in IOPs, and the bottom chart is pretty self-explanatory in kilobytes per second, and broken down into results for USB-C and results for USB 3. You can see clearly the the real winners here. The Crucial M.2, a Samsung SSD, are way ahead. The Transcend mSATA isn't too far behind, and pretty soon I've got a M.2 SSD similar to the mSATA. That should be a bit faster, and it's in a relatively small package. As far as the rest go, well, what can you expect from SD cards? SanDisk Extreme is not too bad, but really if you're going to use anything, you might as well use a M.2 or SSD if you can afford it. It doesn't have to be a big one, and if you can't do that, try and find an old mSATA, because there's plenty of those around that come from old laptops from about 3 or 4 years ago, and put them on a little USB adapter. Just to make sure one thing, there's two types of adapter on eBay which I found, and the one that runs cool is an ASMedia device. The other one gets so hot that you really don't want to use it. Anyway, there we go. I hope this is interesting to everybody. It's given me something to do during this latest lockdown, and well, I might be doing some more in the future. Thank you for looking at this, and goodbye.